prep seems simple enough. Prepare a lot of your favorite food in advance and store it for later, right? Well, I found out the hard way there are some pretty common mistakes you don't want to make. And in this video, I'm going to share 9 lessons I learned so you can skip the frustrating parts and just enjoy the journey. Hola, I'm Caroline and my channel is all about helping you learn to eat the Mediterranean way every day. So why meal prep? For starters, it's a great way to take control of what you eat. Plus, you save lots of time in the kitchen, lots of money at the grocery store, throw out a lot less food that you didn't get around to using, and eat a lot healthier. And that's what we're all trying to do, right? And really, meal prep is easy if we follow a few smart steps and avoid a few mistakes. Before you get started on your meal prep plan, take a look at what's in your fridge and your pantry. Toss out really old stuff that's just taken up space, and then see if there's any favorite staples like beans or nuts or pastas that you're short on. Decide what you're in the mood for over the next few days and make a list. I always rely on 8 meal prep fundamentals that I know will have me covered. You might change your mind when you see what's fresh and available or what's on sale, but definitely go shopping with the list. Missing ingredients is the first obstacle to getting started. And now, let's get into those 9 meal step mistakes I made so that you can avoid them. Mistake number 1, don't expect too much. One of the most common mistakes for people new to meal prep, including me, is having unrealistic expectations. Don't start out planning to make every meal for every day of the week in 2 hours on a Sunday. I tried it. It was a disaster. I went way overboard and I honestly thought it would be a good idea to make 2 soups, 2 salads, 2 sides, 2 proteins, 2 grains, 3 dressings, 1 dip, 2 pantry preps, and a whole bunch of roasted veggies. The planning chart was a work of art. And guess what? We couldn't possibly eat it all before some of it went bad. I couldn't freeze it all later. And a whole bunch of hard work and really good ingredients eventually went right down the drain. So here's my best advice. If you're new to this whole meal prep thing, please start slow and keep it simple. Just make 1 main dish to enjoy right away and freeze for later, like soup or stew. It took a lot of trial and error to find the meal prep sweet spot that worked for me and George and our lifestyle. Now I limit my prep to no more than 8 things: 1 protein, 1 grain, 2 to 3 veggies, 1 to 2 dressings, and 1 essential. It's what I call a really versatile sauce or dip. And I'll leave a link below for my meal prep beginners video that goes into a lot more detail about them. Mistake number 2, Sundays have you covered. Lots of meal prep mavens say that once a Sunday will cover you for the week, but this just doesn't work for me because food starts to grow bacteria and go bad after 3 to 4 days. Just ask any food science nerd. So start with 1 plan to cover 2 to 3 days, and then work your way up to 2 meal prep workouts, maybe Sunday and Wednesday, if you really want to cover the whole week. I like doing it once and winging it the rest of the week. Plus, prepping just a few days worth helps you mix and match it up so that there's a balance between fresh and frozen, at the ready dishes, and almost at the ready. Like the tomato sauce I batch cook and freeze when the tomatoes are garden ripe, and then I use that as a base for a fast and fresh pasta dish later. Mistake number 3, 2 hours? Really? Especially when you're just getting started, meal prepping takes time. And the best gift you can give yourself is to set aside the clock. Instead, just get really well organized before you get started. I learned in cooking school it's really important to keep everything tidy while you're working. Put the tools you know you'll need already out on the counter. Ingredients queued up, your knives honed and sharp, counters and cutting boards wiped clean. Professional kitchens call it mise en place, and it's just as handy at home. And while waiting for dishes to come out of the oven or finish simmering on the stovetop, use those downtime minutes to do a couple of dishes and keep the kitchen chaos to a minimum. Mistake number 4, batch cooking your favorite. There's a surefire way to stop loving one of your favorite dishes. Pick the dish you love the most and make a giant batch. You're really happy day 1, even leftovers for the second day taste mighty good. But day 3, it's getting a little boring. Day 4, no thanks, so it goes to the back of the fridge to patiently wait until you get around to throwing it out. There's a simple solution. Only plan to eat it twice over the next few days and put some in the freezer so you can dip into your stash a month or two from now and love that favorite dish even more because it's already done. Relying on your freezer so that you always have something after a little defrost and reheat is one of the best tricks of meal prep. Just remember to label and date it so you know what's in there. Mistake number 5, getting stuck in a rut. I don't know about you, I just get bored eating the same thing too many times in a row. It can be my favorite fish, air-fried salmon, or that totally versatile chicken breast I can use in all sorts of ways, but at a certain point, I get tired of it. So remember to mix it up. Chicken for 1 week's meal prep, fish for the next. Chickpeas and beans the following week. Mistake number 6, falling off the balance ball. If we go way back to my first video about the Mediterranean diet, I showed you a dinner plate and the classic 4 segments that should be a part of every meal. Half filled with veggies and fruit, a quarter filled with a healthy protein, a quarter filled with grains. It's why I meal prep those 8 fundamentals. 1 protein, 1 grain, 2 to 3 veggies, a dressing or 2, and 1 sauce or dip. If you start with a balanced meal prep plan, you're going to eat a healthy, balanced diet. One that delivers all the nutrients and vitamins you need to stay healthy. Mistake number 7, following my plan. I know sometimes it's just easier to do what you're told. Being the youngest of 7, I have a lot of experience. But when it comes to meal prep, you do you. You might not like the same things as I do, so don't feel like you got to follow my choices. I do think those 8 fundamentals are a good mix, but what the individual dishes are, totally up to you. Plus remember, a great advantage of the Mediterranean diet is the huge range of options. And if you're meal planning for the whole family, then keep in mind what they like too. Nothing's more frustrating than making a great meal nobody else wants to eat but you. Mistake number 8, forgetting the in-betweens. There's a reason I always make a sauce or dip every week. It's my way to make sure I stay on track between meals. If I'm a little hungry and there's some cut-up veggies already prepped in the fridge with a bowl of hummus already prepped in the fridge, it's a whole lot easier for me to reach for those things than the bag of chips that's calling my name. One of the advantages of the Mediterranean diet is that healthy little snacks are a big part of the lifestyle. Here in Spain, we have a mid-morning snack time called almuerzo, a mid-afternoon snack time called merienda, and then there's tapas time, snacks before dinner. So don't forget, when you're planning out your meals, snacks are really important. Fresh fruit, a bowl of nuts, a little yogurt and berries. There's all sorts of no-fuss, healthy fillers for in-between time. And if you want some ideas for these snacks, I'll leave a link to my healthy snacks video below. Mistake number 9. Buried in the fridge. You go to a big effort. You put together lots of meal prepped options. You pack them in containers you can't see through, that you can't defrost easily, and that you can't put in the microwave. It's surprising how important using the right containers is for meal prep. I put off buying new glass containers for my own meal prepping, but I have to admit, now that I have them, they really do make a difference. I can see what's in the fridge at a glance. Everything is nice and tidy. I can go from fridge to freezer to table much faster, and reusing them every week makes me feel good about helping to save the planet. If you're looking for more meal prep ideas, then look no further than this playlist and stay tuned for our next meal prep adventure.